You think you know what every man fantasizes about, right? No, it's not that. It's not what the movies show. It's not what you're guessing. And if you get this wrong, you'll completely miss the one thing that makes him obsess over you. Because the truth is, his secret fantasy isn't about a certain body type or a wild bedroom moment. It's something way more powerful. Something that makes him feel addicted to you in a way he can't explain. Every man, no matter how confident or strong he looks on the outside, has one hidden craving: to be seen, to feel admired, to know that the woman he's with doesn't just want what he can give, but who he really is. That's the fantasy. The smile when you notice the small things he does, the look in your eyes when you admire his drive, not just his results, the way you make him feel like he's your hero, not because he's perfect, but because he's yours. That kind of validation, that kind of emotional intimacy is the fantasy he never tells anyone about. And if you want to know exactly how to trigger that feeling, how to create that space where he feels addicted to you, keep watching, because I'm about to break down the little signals that make his hidden fantasy come alive. The deepest sexual fantasy of a man does not actually take place in the bedroom. No, it is not hidden in those secret clips he keeps in his search history. It is not shared with friends during quiet talks, not even tucked away in the darkest corners of the web. Wipe away all the things you think you know. Erase the stories. Erase the belief that male desire is always basic, raw, and animal-like. What if I told you it is actually the opposite? That his strongest craving is far more layered, deeply mental, and fragile in ways most women never truly uncover. Just imagine this. What if you held the real master key to his passion, not the one that only sparks short bursts of pleasure, but the one that connects his body to his thoughts, his instinct to his emotions, the one that makes him feel strong but also soft at the same time, the one that ties him not only to your touch, but to how you see him. For centuries, society has repeated one story. The man is the pursuer, the woman is pursued. He wants, she is wanted. But what if that story was always a lie? What if, in the game of attraction, he quietly wishes for someone to remove him from that role altogether? The most powerful fantasy of a man is not a position, but a feeling. Not a scene, but an emotion. And here's the shocking truth. It is not even about him, it is about you. Yes, it forms in his imagination, but only you can become the main figure of it. Are you ready to learn what he actually longs for when he shuts his eyes at night and pictures the woman who could change everything? Because I promise you, it is not the picture in your mind right now. Forget what you've been told about men's fantasies. I know it sounds old and overused, but culture has fed us a narrow version that male desire is plain, only physical, only visual, only instant. That a man is stirred by a short skirt, a low-cut top, or a shadow in the dim light. Of course that works, but it is the thinnest layer, easily sparked, easily gone, like junk food for his ego. But that is not what we are exploring here. We are digging deeper. We are talking about the mental ignition switch, the hidden trigger that awakens his truest desire, a type of longing that doesn't fade when the lights go out, that doesn't disappear when the morning comes. A desire carved into his memory, following him like a shadow through his daily life, making him wonder, making him restless. Because this is not about how you end up in his bed, it is about how you remain in his head. And believe me, that is a very different battle. Learning this truth changes everything. It draws the line between being just another option and being the one he can't replace, between being a momentary distraction and being a purpose. Most relationships stay surface level, playing out the same old pattern. He pursues, you allow yourself to be caught. But in that game, the ending is already written. Nothing new, nothing surprising. What I am showing you now is how to flip that entire script, how to bend the rules in your favor. Not through tricks, not through false games, but through such deep understanding of his inner world that you become magnetic in a way he cannot explain. And this is my promise to you. If you stay with me until the end, you will discover the blind spot of his ego, the hidden need, the silent hunger that fuels his strongest attraction. No gimmicks, no repeated lines. Instead, a map of his emotional world. You will finally see why he sometimes pulls away just when you show him the most interest. Why he gets drawn to the woman who seems indifferent. Why misunderstood strength and independence sometimes make the opposite impact you hoped for. By the time we finish, the word fantasy will have a whole new meaning for you, and you will hold the key to a secret door inside his mind, one that even he does not realize is there. Let us start unlocking this mystery with one simple truth. A man does not only crave a body, he craves a mind. He wants to be wanted with the same fire, or maybe even more, than the fire he feels himself. And this is where the old story begins to break. The old tale paints the man as the one who acts, and the woman as the one who waits. He is the chooser, the hunter, the mover. She is the one chosen, the one looked at, the one expected to receive. From children's stories to movie scripts, this is the pattern the world has fed us. But what happens in his hidden world, beyond the script he's forced to replay over and over? The truth is, being the hunter all the time is heavy. It takes endless energy, constant validation, and armor against rejection. He must be bold, unshaken, never weak. He must always make the first move, take the first risk. Yet in always wearing this mask, another part of him stays asleep. The part that quietly wishes to be undone. His unspoken fantasy, the one he tells no one, not even himself sometimes, is to become the one who is desired. Just once, he wants to feel what it's like to be the prize. He wants the thrilling shiver of being the one noticed across a crowded room, the one she cannot take her eyes off. He wants to feel soft, vulnerable, in the face of a woman's hunger that is not a response to his advances, but the fire that starts them. Picture it. Imagine he is like a famous star admired by millions. Everyone wants his picture, his attention, his charm. Yet, beneath it all, what he truly craves is coming home to someone who does not see him as a star, but simply as a man, seen, wanted, undone by her desire. In the game of seduction, he feels used to women reacting to his looks, his confidence, his status. But what truly shakes him, what breaks his defenses, is a woman who wants him not for any of those reasons, but simply for him. Not because he made the first move, but because she saw something in him that woke up her own urge to chase. And here begins the secret conflict inside him, the pull between the role he plays and the softness he secretly wishes for. The hunter who, deep down, dreams of being hunted. And in that tension lies your power to shift everything. This is why we must finally let go of the myth of the endless pursuer. That idea, however poetic it sounds in books or films, is nothing but a shallow simplification. It is like saying the only purpose of the sun is to shine, while ignoring its warmth, its storms, its gravity. The hunter role is just that, a role, a habit shaped by evolution and culture. But it is not the whole truth of his inner world. Many times, it is not freedom at all, but a cage. Maybe polished, but still a cage. Because when he feels he must always be the one who initiates, he also feels he can never show doubt, never reveal weakness. Yet it is in that tiny opening, that brief slip of his armor, that real desire lives. He is deeply turned on by being the one chased. And I do not mean some clumsy switch of roles, or some forced game. I mean something much more natural, more electric. A woman who dares to let her desire show drives him absolutely crazy. A woman whose eyes rest on him just a little longer than usual. A woman whose eyes drift to his lips while he's speaking. A woman whose voice softens just a little when she leans closer. These are not simple passive reactions. They are subtle signals of real desire. They tell him she isn't just reacting to his charm, she is the fire, the source, the storm. And that creates a tension he cannot escape. Why? Because it rewrites his entire script. He moves forward, you step back. He offers, you agree. But when a woman gently turns the current around with elegance, the entire game burns down. and in that open space he stands uncovered. This raw exposure is unbearably exciting. It is the difference between watching a movie and living an unscripted moment where anything can happen. In that instant, he doesn't know what comes next. For the first time in a long time, he isn't in control. And that loss forces him into the present moment, into truly seeing, into deeply feeling. What happens after is even more surprising. When he is wanted in this way, he does not feel weaker. In fact, he feels more powerful, more manly than ever before. Because a woman showing desire does not take away from his masculinity, it confirms it in its purest form. It doesn't affirm his money, his job, or his image. It affirms him. The message that carves itself into his mind is simple. I don't want you for what you own or what you display. I want you. Your presence, your scent, the fire in your eyes, something in your spirit that awakened mine. That is the deepest validation, the most powerful fuel for both his pride and his body. It is stronger than any conquest. It pulls him away from being just the one who provides moments and places him right in the heart of the moment itself. And this delicate shift, this turning point, is the most protected secret of male desire. This is where everything flips. We already said it thrills him to be wanted. It makes him almost lose his mind when you take the lead. But that is only the doorway, the first step before the final truth. Because wanting him while you are in front of him is one thing, but something far greater, far more intoxicating, is when he realizes that you still want him when he is not even there.